All right, what is going on? It is Nate, and today's video we are going to be talking about how we are living in the past. And so you're probably like, well, what does that even mean? And obviously, I'm going to get into that in a second. But first things first, I just want to talk about when you watch these videos. I know I'm probably bringing a new perspective. I'm probably bringing new ideas that you've never heard before. You know, maybe they're unfamiliar. Maybe you think I'm crazy. I don't know. But just give me a second, right? I've spent thousands of hours studying all this material, studying different thinkers, studying all these different things. And they all come back to the same ideas. It's everybody just regurgitates the same ideas in a different way. And so what I'm here to do is cut that down, right? I want to cut down the noise. I want to tell you guys the way things work and how you can apply it, right? Because my goal is for you to be able to watch this video, apply it, and make more money, or whatever it is you want to do in your life, whatever increase you want. Most people want to make more money because that usually means they can do whatever else they want. So we are living in the past. What does that mean, right? And so let's just start rolling with examples, right? The t-shirt you're wearing, right? Let me get over to where I can write here. T-shirt, right? Oh, pin's off. There we go. T-shirt, right? You got one on right now, hopefully, right? You got a shirt on. That shirt was first thought of by somebody. They put it into action, right? They're like, you know, I'm gonna make this shirt that looks like this. And then they took the actions that needed to be taken, and then it came out with the result of the t-shirt, right? And then you maybe thought of it, or maybe you saw it and you had the thought, oh, I like that t-shirt. Maybe I should buy that. So then you walked over to it, you picked it up, right? And you're like, oh, I like this. And then you tried it on and then you bought it, right? So your thoughts led you to taking action, which led to your result, right? So now you have this t-shirt. Maybe you bought it a year ago. Maybe it was yesterday. I don't know. It doesn't matter. What about, let's say another example, your car, right? I don't know why this keeps turning off. Your car. You had the idea to go buy the car. Right? You had the idea. Maybe you saw it driving by and you're like, oh, I want to go check out that car, right? Whatever it is, whatever the situation was, whether you saw it online, whether you saw it on the street, whether you just happened to stumble upon it, I don't know. But you had the thought, I think I'm going to buy this car. And then you took the actions, you did the paperwork, you got the financing, and then now you have the result. You have the car, right? So what I'm trying to get across here is everything you have in your life is a result of your past thinking. Right? You got the car because of the way you were thinking, which led you to go to the dealership, which led you to do the paperwork, which led you to get the car. The shirt you have, the clothes you have, the shoes you have, maybe you saw them in the store, and then you took the action, you went up to the register and you bought them, and as a result, you now have the shoes, you have the clothes, you have the shirt, right? So everything you have right now is a result. The body you have, how much you weigh, right? Whether you're overweight or underweight, or you're perfectly happy with where you are, I don't know. But you are the weight that you are because of the decisions you've made in the past, right? If you ate brownies all day, every day for the last 2 months, you're probably going to be overweight, right? So maybe what you're doing right now, you may think it may not have an impact, but if you look 3 months back, that's what you thought then as well. And now you're like, oh, wow, I've gained 30 pounds, right? So everything you have, whether it's your bank, whether it's your income, whether it's your business, whether it's your clothing, your shoes, your car, your friends, your family, it doesn't matter what it is. It's a result of either your past thinking or someone else's past thinking, right? So you have to understand that this physical world, and you have to bear with me because I know you're probably like, well, what does this matter? So the physical world, right, we can agree that all the things in it, everything in the entire world is past thinking, right? God created the earth thousands of years ago. I don't know when it was created, a couple thousand years ago, thousands of years ago, right? So the physical world was a past thought that was put into action, and then as a result, we have the earth. Like, are you understanding what I got here? Or what I'm saying? The earth was created by thought, which was then put into action, and as a result, we have the heavens and the earth. The home that you're in right now, the car that you're in right now, wherever you are, someone thought about it and they're like, oh, I think I'm gonna build like right now I'm in an apartment. Maybe I'm gonna build an apartment complex right here. You know, it's gonna be a few stories high, whatever. We're gonna do this floor plan, right? And then they started putting into action. Oh, I'm gonna call this guy, get this contractor, get this guy in here, get the plumbing done, and then as a result, bam, they have the apartment, right? And now I'm living in that. And then I had the idea 3, 4, 5, 6 months ago. I was like, I want to move to Southern California. I had the idea, right? I was like, okay, I'm going to move there, right? And then I put into action, okay, well, if I want to move there, I got to figure out the income. I got to figure out what I'm going to do, right? And I started putting into action, and as a result, I'm here. I'm here because of the way I thought in the past. Okay, so I hope that 5-minute intro was enough to give you this idea that everything you have in your life is a result of your past thinking. Everything. Every single thing you have in your life. Coffee break. So, let's go down to what this means. So the physical world is past thoughts, right? So what does that mean? That this, from the time you have the thought to the time it's in the physical, there's a delay, right? So you think the thought, whoever thought about building this apartment, it didn't show up the next day. They didn't copy and paste it, right? They had to put it into action. They had to watch the seeds grow. They had to watch it all work out. And then as a result, 3, 4, 5, I don't know how long these things take to make. Probably pretty quick. They seem pretty copy and paste. Let's say a year. It takes a year to make it, right? They had to hold the vision of what they're building, continue to put it into action, even when there's problems, even when things are going wrong, and then eventually they got the result. And now this is here as a result of the way they used to think, right? And maybe, for example, your house right now, maybe you don't like the way it looks. Maybe you remodeled it and now it's kind of outdated, right? You're living in your past thinking. Maybe you went to the store and you bought all this stuff that you knew you were going to eat and you shouldn't have bought it because you eat too much. And you are now eating it all, right? So now you're suffering from your past thinking. You thought to buy the food and you knew you shouldn't buy it, but you still did it. And now you're paying the price because now you're eating the food, which you had the thought, I'm going to go eat the food, and you went up and you got it. Like, I don't think people really understand. You think about everything before you do it. When you wake up in the morning, you think, okay, I'm going to go pee. You may not think that you think that, but you do. Otherwise, you wouldn't do it. Your body doesn't just run out of bed and start going pee, right? You have to tell your body what to do. Your body is just an instrument of the mind. The body, right? So we have, this is the drawing, not my famous drawing. Oh, by no means is this mine. I did not come up with this. But this is your mind up here, right? You have your conscious mind, your subconscious mind, and your body. Your mind is what tells your body what to do. If I tell my hand to raise up and down, look what it's doing. My body didn't just decide to do that. I decided I'm going to make my hand go up and down, up and down. And I know you might be like, this is stupid video. It's just dragged out. But I don't think you guys understand. So where I'm going with this is the thoughts. Sorry, I don't like how long it takes me to write this. But the thoughts you are thinking, and I'm sure you know where I'm going with this now. So the thoughts you are thinking right now will soon be in your present results. Right? So if I decide I'm going to go eat, I don't even know why all my examples are food. I think it's just because everyone can relate to it. I'm going to go eat 50 brownies. Right? I may not be able to look in the mirror after and be like, oh my gosh, I just gained 5 pounds, right? You probably aren't going to notice it because you're like, yeah, whatever, And then maybe a couple days later, you're like, oh my gosh, like I'm putting on some weight, right? Your past thinking is leading to your future results. So what I need you to understand is the way you are thinking right now, the thoughts you are thinking right now, and by right now, I mean at any point in time in the present moment, that is what determines your future results. Whatever you think right now, positive, negative, abundance, prosperity, lack, limitation, fear, worry, whatever it is, whatever thoughts you're having, have to manifest in the future. They have to. It's absolute law. If you want the exact laws, I have a whole video, I'm pretty sure. I don't know, maybe not actually. I don't think I've done that. The law of perpetual transmutation. I don't know if I've made a video on it, but look it up. It states, and it's fact, it's proven, that the thoughts you hold in your mind always must move into physical form in a certain amount. We don't know the time period. But if you hold the image in your mind, it has to move into physical form because your thought rearranges the energy around you, which causes it to move into form. Our thoughts literally create the reality. And I didn't even want to say that in this video because I don't want people to get scared by that. People are like, oh, no, it doesn't. If I go and I decide to get my hair cut, my thought created my reality, right? My thought to get my hair cut had someone else cut my hair, now I cut my hair, right? We are all interconnected through our spirit, right? We're spiritual beings living in a physical body. I'm not my body. When my body dies, I'm not dead. I'm not my name. I was given a name, right? My name is Nate, but I'm not Nate. Nate's just a word. Who am I, right? Who are you? That's what people need to understand. Who are you? You are a spiritual being. That's why you can close your eyes and you can see anything you want, because you were given an imagination. You were given imagination, will, reason, intuition, perception. We were given all these mental faculties. That is what makes us spiritual beings. And you have to use that to create this image of what you want, because let me tell you, if you have the image of what you want, that is your past thinking, right? In 1 minute, whatever you thought 1 minute ago, that's your past thinking. And what do we know? Eventually, those will be your present results. Now, I'm not saying you think I'm rich and then all of a sudden in a few months you get rich because of that. That's not what I'm saying. You have to hold the image in your mind, right? That's why I emphasize goal cards. I have a goal card. I have this note by my bed. I read every morning and every night before I go to sleep. And it reminds me what my vision is, right? What I'm here to do, what my purpose is, what my goals are. And I read it every night. And guess what? All night long I think about it when I'm asleep. My mind is working for me while I'm sleeping. So what we need to do is you need to understand that you can't look at your physical results. So what I do now is I look at these physical results and I'm like, okay, this is from the past. This is my past thinking, right? Whatever I'm doing right now is because of my past thinking. This video is a past thought. I thought about making it earlier and now I'm doing it, right? I'm in my current situation because of my past thinking. No matter what you relate it to, it's all a result of your past thinking. Every single thing you can think of, every single thing in your life is from past thinking. So you need to use that to your advantage, because clearly your thoughts are powerful if it's created every single thing you have in your life. So you need to start thinking the thoughts. We're going to say, quote unquote, the future thoughts, right? Because these are the thoughts that aren't necessarily true, right? Maybe you're not a millionaire yet. Maybe you're not making how much you want to make. You have to start thinking those thoughts now that you are that person, because eventually that must be your physical results. It has to. It's law. So think the future before it's true, and you force it to become true, right? This is the vacuum law to become true. This is the vacuum law of prosperity, which states that you are creating these vacuums, and nature always fills the vacuum, right? If you get a vacuum cleaner and you put it on the dirt, it's going to go right in there, right? So what you're doing is you're creating these vacuums between who you actually are and who you are believing yourself to be, you're thinking, you're feeling, and you're acting, and you're creating this gap, right? Think of it like an air bubble. And by law, because the world, God, everything that is living is for expansion and expression, is going to fill the gap. God wants you to reach your goals more than you want to reach your goals, because God wants expansion. He wants growth, right? Look at the trees, look at the plants. They all want to grow. Everything of life is for growth. So what makes you think that we're any different, that our goals are any different? No. If your goal is for the good of society, for the good of other people, for the good of the world, right? As long as you're not hurting people to get your goal, then God wants you to He probably wants you to have it more than you want to have it. And you have to harness these abilities, these powers, these spiritual faculties that we have. So you have to step into the new you, right? I'm going to link a worksheet in the description. I think it's called the new you. I don't know, but you literally craft your new character. Because this sounds silly, it sounds childish. I know. I thought the same thing, and I changed my life completely because of it. So you can believe it or you cannot believe it. It works for millions of people. It worked for me. I changed my life. So if you choose not to believe it, that's on you. But I'm going to say this as well. Bob Proctor would always say this too. He said, if you don't like your results, if you keep doing the same things, you're going to keep getting the same results. So if your way isn't working, why don't you try mine? And I'm not even trying to say this is my method. This is from the studying I've done on all the great thinkers, all these, biblical principles, Napoleon Hill, Bob Proctor, Neville Goddard, all these different people. These are their ideas. I'm just bringing them to you and trying to simplify them the best I can. So you have to step into the new you, and then you have to become one with that version, right? So you have to start thinking from the place, not of the place. Does that make sense? So me thinking about $100,000 months as some future reality I would just be communicating to my mind that I'm not there, right? You're like, hey, there's a gap here, and it's like, yeah, there's a gap there, right? And so the gap's always going to stay there. The gap's not going to close because you still see yourself down here. The goal's up here. At what point would that whole gap get filled, right? If you forever think you make $1,000 a month or whatever, and then you want to make 100K, but you always think you make 1,000. Why in the world would your income jump 99 times, 100 times? It wouldn't, right? It doesn't make sense. You have to become that new you. So this is the way things work. So you create the new you, right? That's step one. You got to know exactly what you want. You got to know exactly how much money you want to earn to the dollar, to the cent. You need to know how much money in your savings. You want to know where you're living, what kind of house you're living in, what cars you're going to have, what color are they going to be, what are you going to do for work, how many people are you going to help, how is that going to make you feel, what is your day going to look like, where are you going to travel to, exact locations, what hotels. You need to have such a vivid picture as if it's the past, right? Because you keep reliving your past thinking. You think the same thoughts every day. So what we're doing is we're putting these thoughts in your mind as if they're the past. So then your mind starts thinking those, and then that becomes your reality. So create the new you. That's the most important thing. It takes time. If you need to use ChatGPT to help you really step into that version of you, do it. If you're like, hey, ChatGPT, I want you to really help me step into this new version of myself. This is what I want to do. This is how much I want to make. Give me some scenes or give me some ideas of how it would really feel to be like this person, because you've never felt it. Maybe that'll help stimulate your brain a little bit. I don't know. You could try it out. So you want to create the new you. And then step 2, become it, right? Before you have the physical results. You're not going to be a millionaire when you become a millionaire, if that makes sense. You have to be a millionaire right now if that's what you want to be. And then you are forcing that gap, and then the gap must be filled through the bridge of incidences, right? You'll start getting these ideas. You'll start getting all these different things that happen in your life, these opportunities, these ideas, the money, whatever it is, will start happening. And as long as you keep taking action and you keep moving in that direction, before you know it, you'll be wherever you want to be. So you become one with it, right? And so I really want to emphasize thinking from, not of. If you think of the goal, you're forever going to have a goal, forever, right? So for example, this Lamborghini Urus, right? I don't want a Urus anymore, but if I wanted a Urus, right, I wouldn't think of it as a distant reality. I wouldn't think, oh my gosh, I just want a Lamborghini so bad. Like, that would make me so happy. No, this is what you do. You say, I have the Lamborghini. You imagine yourself getting into the Lamborghini. Imagine the interior. Imagine your friend sitting next to you. Imagine yourself sitting in it and be like, I'm so grateful that I have this Lamborghini, right? So now you are stepping into it, and now you're thinking from the Lamborghini. It sounds silly, but you're thinking from that place. How would you feel if you were in a Lamborghini? You'd probably feel pretty confident. You'd probably feel successful. You'd probably feel accomplished, right? Feel those feelings as you imagine this. You don't have to close your eyes for this either. I can see myself in a Lamborghini right now with my eyes staring right at myself. I can see the Lamborghini in my mind. And I'm grateful for it right now. I'm grateful for my Lamborghini. I don't have a Urus. I have a Huracan. But you have to step in that and think from it. Because if you're thinking of it, you're thinking of this distant future, which is going to keep it distant. But when you think from it, and it's like, I'm so grateful I got this Lamborghini. Like, so many people, like, I drive to the gym and everybody's just looking at me. It's like, it seems normal to me, but everyone thinks it to be cool. All the little kids, they get all excited when they see it, so I rev it for them. Like, step into that place, right? So that's step 2. And then step 3, this is where things get not interesting. I'm going to say this is where the people who are successful with this and the people who aren't, this is where the problem comes up. Action. You're going to get ideas, right? And so look, let me just give you an example here. So I just have this note. These are just ideas. These just come to me as I'm just doing the most random things. Usually it's when I'm doing nothing to do with this, right? Like, I'll be at the gym, I'll be doing my cardio, and I'll have this idea, right? Literally right here it says, where is it? We live in the past, right? What am I doing? I'm literally making a video about that. So these come into my mind, and then I just go on here and I just check them off. And so my goal is to try to get this list to 0, which never happens because the ideas just keep coming. If you keep taking action, God's going to keep giving you these ideas, and then eventually you'll look back and be like, wow, I did that. Like, look at how much my life changed. But if you get these actions and you get scared, or you have fear, or you're like, what are they going to think about me? Or what if this happens? Let me tell you, you need to study the laws of this world, because when you understand and when you study, there's no such thing as fear. If I want to make more money, I provide more value. I help more people. I render more service. And I don't have a fear in the world about money. Talk to me a month ago, I'd have a different story for you. What changed? My studying. I continued to learn and understand this material, and I was like, okay, if I'm providing value, if I'm rendering service, if I'm doing the best that I can every day, if I'm holding the vision on my mind of what I want, then absolutely by law, I must be moving in that direction. So who am I to fear that the God, the creator of all creation, is going to leave me stranded? That doesn't even make sense, right? If you're truly creating value for people, if you're truly improving on lives, if you are leaving the impression of increase, if you are showing gratitude, if you are holding the image on your mind of what you want, then absolutely by law, you will have no struggles. Well, sorry, that's not the right word. You will have no failures. Struggles, yes, 100%. You're going to have downtimes. Law of rhythm. It's another law. It's in the Bible. Law of rhythm. You're going to have ups. You're going to have downs. Shore goes in. Shore goes out. Sun goes up. Sun goes down, right? You're going to move like this. So understand, when you're on the back times, God's not abandoning you. Right? Those are the times where you're created, where your character is built. And then when you have the up times, you show gratitude, you show gratitude, you show gratitude. And then you come back, you show gratitude, you show gratitude. Notice you always show gratitude. Because you're always alive, you always have food, you always have water, you always have money, you always have enough. Show gratitude. There's always something to be grateful for. Someone is praying to be where you are right now, I guarantee it. That's where things change. Action, right? So you're going to step into this new you. You're going to start thinking the thoughts, feeling the feelings, creating the visualizations, creating this mental image of what you want, and then you're going to have to hold that on your mind all day long. You have to get obsessed with it. See the people texting you saying how much you changed their lives. See the people, posting their testimonials, posting their gains. See the people, coming up to you in public. I don't know if you want to be famous. Imagine people coming up to you and asking for a picture. Like, start to really step into this role. Pretend like you're acting, but understand that you're not, because if you have it spiritually, let me really explain this. Really, buckle down for 1 second, okay? So we know that the thoughts, right, which is your imagination, these mental pictures, these thoughts are what lead to the results, right? So the thoughts come and then the results follow, right? So you think the thought and then you go do the thing. So if you are walking in the knowing that you are this version that you can see, are you really faking it? Are you really acting? No. It's called walking in faith, because you know that this version of you is already existent. If you can close your eyes and you can see it, it's real. If it wasn't real, then how in the world would you be able to see it? It may not be physically real. You may not be able to touch it, but it's real. This is more real than this. This water bottle is someone's past thinking. This is dead, right? This is dead. This is someone's past. This is a result of my past thinking. I went and bought this, right? Everything in your life is past thinking. Past. So are you really faking it if you are living in what's actually coming? What's actually real? What's actually alive? What's actually moving into form? No, that's called walking by faith. When the Bible, when everything talks about walking in faith, faith is not being, living in the knowing that the things that you already have are going to work out. It's not knowing that things you've already done will work out. It's knowing that when everything seems to go against it, when nothing seems to be going right, when it seems like the sky is falling, can you hold that image in your mind and continue to walk in faith in the absolute knowing that by law, God will bring you whatever vision you are holding in your mind, and you will eventually live that in the physical reality? Is that faking it? Because if you ask me, that's more real than this. This is fake. This is the past. This is history. The results you get right now are history. Everything is history. Everything is history. This is the present reality. This is the present reality, or what you could say the future. This is what's going to be your present reality. So in my opinion, you'd be a pretty smart person to control the mind if you want to control your results. Because if you try to change what's happening in the physical world, you're changing history. You are trying to change history. You look at your bank account and you get mad. You're trying to change history. You look at yourself in the mirror, you get mad. You're trying to change history. That is the worst way to live. That is living like a dog. That is not thinking. People don't think. People don't think, they react. They look at their situation and that determines how they feel. That is a reaction. That is not thinking. Thinking is holding the truth in your mind against what everything may tell you. That's thinking. And it is proven that that is the most tiring, the most exhausting, and the most difficult task known to man, is to live in truth, which is holding the image in your mind when everything contradicts it. Do you think it's easy for me when I'm trading and I look at the screen and everything is red for me to be like, yeah, I make $100K a month? Do you think that's easy? No. But I can see this, and that's all I care about. I don't care what happens here. This is the old me right here. This is old me. This is me. Who am I? Spiritual being, physical body. What comes first? Spiritual being. What lives on when your body dies? Spiritual being. So if you are living by the physical world, if you're looking and that determines the way you think, feel, and act, that's a reaction. You're not thinking. You're not living. You're not doing anything. You're just simply living like an animal. Like a dog, literally. I don't mean that offensively, but like if you are looking at your phone, you look at your bank account, and then that determines the way you feel, that is the same way a dog would act. The dog goes, looks at its food bowl, gets mad there's none there, walks away. That's what you're doing. But we are created in God's image. God is within you. The creative powers, the creative spirit of God is in your life. It is within your body. Well, not maybe literally within your body. It's in your spirit, right? You have this spirit where you have these creative abilities that literally, as I've proven to you, create your life. We're not victims to reality. We're not just here like, oh, hopefully I can make money. Hopefully I can pay the bills. No, it's law. If you provide the value, if you render the service, you're gonna make the bills. If you're not providing value, if you're not rendering service, why would you be served with abundance? You're not. You're simply not. It doesn't work that way. That's what happens is people think, oh, manifestation, oh, just sit here and manifest. Yeah, good luck with that. You may feel good. Nothing's gonna change if you don't take actions. Maybe someone will be nice to you. Maybe some things will work out, but you are gonna have to take some sort of action. It doesn't just literally walk itself through the door and check for $1 million comes to your name. No. But you have to use your mental faculties, these thinking abilities. Think about it. What do you want? What do you really want? Because if you know that your thoughts create your reality, then why are you limiting yourself on what you can think about? There's no such thing as time and space in the spiritual world. It doesn't know how expensive a Rolls-Royce Cullinan is. It doesn't know how expensive that mansion is. It doesn't know how much it costs to travel the world. All it knows is it's going to get you there if that's the image you put in your mind. That's all it knows. The subconscious mind, the spirit, does not accept or reject. It just it doesn't know it. It accepts. It does not reject. So everything you pour into it just says yes, 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 yes. Okay, okay, okay. That is the God within you. God gives you everything you want, but the thing is you're imagining and you're thinking and you're feeling negatively. You're looking at your results and that's how you feel. So you get more of the same and you're like, God, why is my life not changing? Why am I stuck? Because you're looking at it. That determines your thoughts, feelings, and your actions, and then you're asking for it again. And then you get it again, and then you get it again, and then you get it again, and then you're mad. You're like, oh my gosh, I'm poor. I'm stuck. I don't know what's going on. That's what's going on. Because your thoughts, feelings, and actions is your communication to God, and God gives you everything that you ask for. Ask and you shall receive. Everything you have in your life, you ask for. You probably don't know it. You probably don't realize it. You probably don't like that I'm saying that, but it's the truth. It's 100% the truth. So take ownership and understand, okay, if this life is a result of my old thinking, what do I want to think now to live in the future? How do I want to feel now to feel in the future? How do I want to act now to live in the future? So you figure out your results, and then you ask yourself, who do I have to become? What do I have to do? How did I get there? And then you become that person now. The millionaire version of you is not brain rotting on TikTok all day. The millionaire version of you is not being lazy and procrastinating and not taking action and allowing his fear to take over him. That isn't the millionaire you. So understand that. If you really want it, you're going to have to change. If you do the same actions, you're going to get the same results. If you think the same thoughts, you're going to get the same results. If you feel the same feelings, you're going to get the same results. It's an equation. It's literally a mathematical equation. And I'm telling you how to solve it for whatever result you want. So change the inputs, change the thoughts, feelings, and actions, and the results will change. They have to. It's not a choice. It's not luck. It's not a guess. It's a fact. So understand the power of your thoughts and understand that we've proven that our thoughts, our present thoughts, create our future results. So you have the power in this very moment to change the way you think and change the future life that you live. But you have to take control of your mind, which isn't easy. The devil's going to be there trying to plant those negative thoughts in your mind, the doubt, the fear, the worry, the negativity, the disbelief. He's there, chirping away. And most of us, most people, are just living up to it. Like, yeah, I can't do that. Yeah, I'm pretty scared of that. Yeah, I can't do that. Yeah. That's not true. If you can imagine it, you can do it, literally. So, take control of your thoughts. Do the worksheet in the description, right? Where it allows you to step into this new you. Take it seriously. It's not like it's not what you do. Doing that worksheet will not change you. It's the way you do it. Do you really feel like it's changing who you are? Do you really feel like you're stepping into this new version of you? Do you really feel like you are living from this new state? Or are you just doing it to check the box? Because checking the boxes does not fill the bank account. I promise you that. Unless you're working a wage job. If you're trying to grow as a person, as an entrepreneur, as a spiritual being, as a, whatever it is, that isn't a guaranteed salary, then checking the boxes doesn't do the job. You have to go above and beyond. You have to hold the vision of what you want. You have to move in that direction, and regardless of what the world shows you, regardless of what the present results show you, understand that if everything in your life right now contradicts what you want in your life, it is because that is your past. This doesn't even matter because that's who you were 3, 4, 5, 6 weeks ago. As you create this new version of yourself, you will see it start to come in the future weeks. But you have to start right now, because if you start tomorrow, you're going to start tomorrow, and then start tomorrow, and then all of a sudden you're stuck forever. Because you were waiting for the outside world to change, but the outside world doesn't change unless you change. You are the creator. You take control of your circumstances. You are the one that created those circumstances. You probably don't know it. You probably don't realize it. You probably don't remember it, but you did it. So, take control. Figure out who you want to be. Start moving in that direction. Live from that place, not of the place. Think from it. Live it. Do it. Be it. Take those actions that scare you. If you want to make a lot of money, you're going to have to do a lot of things that scare the crap out of you. If it doesn't scare you, it's probably not going to help you. So, take control of your thoughts. Your mind is a broadcasting and a receiving station. You send out these signals and they are brought right back to you, right? It's like this. Cause and effect, cause and effect, cause and effect. So if you want these new results, you're going to have to send out the new cause and it'll bring back the new effects, right? It's a chain. You send out the same cause, you're going to get the same effects. You change the cause, you get a different effect. Your thoughts, feelings, and actions are the cause. The physical world is not the cause. That's the effect. That's the result. That's the end. It's vibrating so slow and so delayed, it doesn't even matter. But this is real, and as you change this, the outside world, by law, must change. But like I said, thinking is the most difficult thing a man can do. So it's not easy. I'm not saying this is going to be get rich quick. Well, you could if you're really good at it, but it's not a wish. You can't just wish for more money. You have to fully embody a new you. You have to let the old version of you go and allow this new version of you to be born and live in that new version. Forget the old you, forget the old mistakes, forget the old past, forget the old bank account, the old income, whatever it is, forget about it. It's gone. It's already dead. Just think about it. Like these books, right? Like this was someone's old idea, and then they put it into action, and now it's just like this book that's just dead, right? It's just dead here. It doesn't do anything. It's not moving. It's just disintegrating. Literally, create or disintegrate. It's disintegrating. Everything here is just disintegrating. So why are you allowing the disintegration to control you? Allow the creation to control you. And the creation is through the thoughts. That's what's moving into form. That is what is being created. This is all just disintegrating. Very slowly, obviously. You can't see it, but it is. So change the way you think and you'll change your results. And if you want to know if it's working, see if your results change. If they don't change, you're not doing it right. Because absolutely by law, if you follow what I'm saying, if you follow these principles, if you follow these ideals, your life has to change. It has to. It's not a guess. It's not a hope. It's not a wish. It's a fact. So I put that worksheet in the description. My link to my group's also in the description. If you're interested, it's one-on-one. So I work with you one-on-one for 10 hours, 10 one-on-one calls where we can give you direct application of all of this psychology, all of these, these biblical laws, all these things, so that you can apply them to your life and absolutely explode in every single area of your life. And then obviously it also includes trading stuff, all my alerts. I mean, it's way underpriced. Honestly, it should be way more expensive. So hope you guys enjoyed, and I will catch you in the next video.